They go skipping across the street to get the switch. But they want to see you get that butt whipping. They don't know they're getting snatched up in that raft too. Is that right? Y'all all right? But some of y'all can identify when the atmosphere of chastisement is around. When it's like, wait till your daddy get home. And you trying to like look for a way to get out the house. But mommy's in the kitchen and the door is by the kitchen. I can't go nowhere. And you just start crying. Hey, shut up. Don't cry now. You shouldn't have did it. I'm tired of dealing with your behind. Yeah, I'm going to let him loose on you. Oh, he's going to whip your behind. And don't let daddy call. Yeah, this boy. You know what this boy done did? You're like, she's telling him. And you ain't there. You know. I just want to make it real. Because oftentimes when that whooping comes, whatever other child is in that room, you don't want to be in that room. That's right. I remember times of seeing it. We all in the room together. Booby getting the whooping. See, this is before we got the righteous names. Everybody had a booby in their community. Booby getting the whooping. Artie and Tyrone is on that side. Charles and Henry on this side. But somewhere along the line, out of the uncontrolled anger management of the parent, who's whipping us like slaves, that belt or that switch hit Artie, and he yelled, "Ow! What you yelling for? Get your behind over here!" Oh my God! Well, I'm telling you, magnify that. The kind of whipping that God is going to put on this country because of what it has done to us, it's going to start in America, but it's going all up through the Caribbean. This whole Western Hemisphere, this cracker going to get it. And I keep saying cracker because I don't want to really just, I'm trying to find a good word to say without going too far. Yes, this beast going to get it. But you and I, brothers and sisters, if we don't separate our minds from him, we going to get it too. Because you and I are the chosen people of God. And if the chosen people of God are being made aware that they're the chosen people, but then you out in the street killing your brother and killing your sister, and you know God loves them, then look, you got to get some of this too. That's right. Man. And a Muslim is one that wants for his brother and sister what he wants for himself. This is why we call you to Muhammad Mosque around the nation, because we don't want you to get the chastisement that Allah wants to bring down on this country. You don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. But Allah wants strict obedience. Or else. There is no in between. There's no hookup. You understand? It ain't like you can get a bootleg with this. It ain't like you can get a hookup and say, "Oh man, can Farrakhan get me through?" No. Let me slide. Can I get in front of you online? No. To get on this line is like walking a tightrope. Everybody's not going to make it. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Gotta tell the truth, bro. Well, Brother Henry, you going to make it? I don't know. So I'm trying to make sure I'm on this rostrum every Sunday and trying to do what I do when I'm off this rostrum. I want to store up good works with Allah God, so that when my record is read, I can say, "But yo, remember, did you see that?" Tell my angel on the left, "Yo, did you tell him? You better represent me, man." So everybody got an angel to her right and an angel to their left. Both of them are defending you. But the one on my right, yo, come on, Look, you don't feel my heart? After all we've been through? You know what I'm saying? Bean soup and all that. We're going to go out like this. We got to bring some levity to this. Is that right? But this enemy has been conspiring on us. And they've put in so many things through drugs and medication in our food, in our water. God already saw it in advance. That's why when you read about the children of Israel and Moses, you can tell the God, when he comes, he already knows what you're going to be suffering with. So he comes with a pattern of a plan that's going to get us out of it, but you have to acknowledge God and be obedient to God. So it challenges our faith. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things yet unseen. None of us never met Master Fraud Muhammad. Many of us never met or saw the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the substance is Farrakhan. The substance is FOI and MGT. The substance is how we have changed our names. We've changed our eating habits. We're getting married now. The black man is standing up and trying to do right by his community, trying to do right by his wife, trying to do right by his children. Oh yeah, he's still walking with 2 left shoes, but he's trying. That's right, fellas. That's right. Trying to do for self in the name of Allah. That's how we know that there's evidence, there's substance of the unseen power. And every one of us, if we was to stand up and testify what Islam has done for us, you would find, man, these people really been touched by God, or they done drank the juice. We did both. We was touched and we drank the juice. It's Johnny Lee punch. It's Arabian punch. Yes, we drank it and we was touched by it. Right. And we're willing to give our lives for our people. The enemy knows that. So they're conspiring against us and they're making the black man extinct. Then they got us in the schools. Education is supposed to be the cultivation of the mind. It's the killing field. Because he's cultivating our children's minds to be robots for them. Teaching us lies. Giving us a lot of animation. But making us to look for a success in his world. And the more we look for success in his world, the more we keep his world going. Scared to go for self. When we start talking about separation is the only answer, most of these Negroes start sounding like a real slave. That would never happen. One scholar, prominent scholar from among the black community, said it's a pipe dream. Cornel West called it a pipe dream. A man who's a scholar in studying religion, studying the Bible, read about the children of Israel, read about the people of Nazareth, read about Lazarus, and gonna call this separation and us having our own government a pipe dream? Well, he's married to a white woman. He knows he can't bring her. So it gotta be a pipe dream. See, no. But all praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Don't get me wrong. We love our brother, but he's deaf, dumb, and blind. So I'm talking about his ignorance. I don't care how much the white man gave you a scholar because you're able to regurgitate what he taught you about religion. That's all lies. You still deaf, dumb, and blind. So it's the blind leading the blind. So when he makes those kind of statements, it's like, man, you know, Cornell, you can go kick rocks. Straight up. Be on the other side of the road while we're building up Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, because we going down south. Oh, if you don't like the South, you're going to love the South when we start taking them states. And we'll watch Cornell in the North kicking rocks. Walking with his wife and his people. But I think when it all goes down, them Negroes gonna be like they was at the Million Man March at the last minute, jumping on. Look, come on, can I get a hookup? Can I get in? Brothers and sisters, our people, when you bring this question to their mind about all the injustice that we're receiving and say, well, what are we going to do? I don't know. Well, you know, this ain't God's world, right? So that means the devil's ruling this world, right? Yes. Do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. So who you want to be with, God or the devil? I want to be with God. So then the only solution is we separate. Then there's a long pause. And then comes the slave voice. Well, where's we gonna go? What we gonna do? How we gonna survive without the white man? We can't do this by ourselves. What we got? Nah, it ain't gonna work. Where there's no vision, the people perish. You can't visualize yourself without white people. Now don't get me wrong, brothers and sisters. There is a place for them. But we gotta go for self first. And let them get what they gotta get. And then the residue of those that are allowed to be spared, all right, we got a place for you. Yes, we got a place for you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said some Caucasians by faith will be in the hereafter. But they won't live like the black man. Meaning that you are going to be made into a new creation. You're going to be given a new growth. Oh, you don't believe it, do you? You look at the Muslims, you can't tell our age unless we tell you. It's already happening right in front of you. But you think we put Vaseline on our face? You know, I mean, I'm sweating some, but this shine ain't coming from what oil I'm using. No, it's from the knowledge that's here and the practice of this knowledge in believing in a true and living God that you and I don't see. That when we stand in that kind of spirit with that kind of God, you're looking at a man and a woman that's being made new. Oh man, brothers and sisters, I hope that Allah is using me to make it plain to you, because I'm telling you, there is something better than what you're looking at in the projects. There's something better than what you're dealing with. Just hold fast to the spirit of Allah within and keep listening to this teaching and follow Farrakhan. And watch. Watch. But it ain't, I'm telling you, you're only going to get out of it what you put in. Allah does not change the condition of a people until they first change their own condition. It's not going to be by no abracadabra or by some osmosis. So as we get ready to put a pin in this for now, we got to. Oh yeah, there's definitely going to, by the will of Allah, be a part 2 and a part 3. It has to be. Has the black man become an endangered species? We're becoming extinct. Through the prison system, through the fratricidal homicides that we're committing on one another, homosexuality. I don't know how somebody could say they bisexual. This beast is putting things in our food to make us think that we want to be a woman, making women think they want to be a man, making people think that they should kill themselves. You don't believe that he deals with chemistry like that? That they've gotten to the level where they can put chips in your brain and have you programmed and tell you what to do at a certain point in time, and you do it. How do you explain some of these mass murders that take place? This man has been practicing lobotomies, where they deal with lobotomizing the brains of people. They practice it abroad and then they started doing it here. Because when a devil runs out of people to kill, then what his nature makes him start killing what's around him. And so later on, we're going to come and we're going to show you the document that Minister Farrakhan talked about from 1974 with Henry Kissinger with the plan to cull the populations. I got it downstairs in the office. It's about this thick. This beast been planning for decades and putting it into practice. And every time I think about it, I pray that Allah kill them all. Really. Because we can't make up for what he has done to us. We don't have the power to do it, but there's a God on the scene. And a Christ that we know. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad don't love the white man at all. We know the Christ that we're talking about, his mindset toward all this. And it's going to be a great and a dreadful day. But look at the book of John. In the first chapter, first few verses, it says, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. The beginning that John is talking about is not the beginning of what you read about in the Bible. The beginning that John is prophesying about is the end of the devil's rulership and the beginning of God's world. The devil's world ends after 6,000 years of him ruling. In the beginning of the Bible in Genesis, it says that this is dealing with Genesis 4004 BC, before Christ. 4,004 years before Christ. So we are 2,000 years from the time when Jesus was murdered. Is that right? 4,000 and 2,000 is 6,000. And Allah says in both the Bible and the Quran that the devil will rule for a period of time, and that period of time would be 6,000 years. A day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. 6 days you'll do all your work, on the 7th day you'll rest, meaning die. But when that death comes, what is God's plan? It's coded from Genesis through Revelation. Genesis is the beginning. A new beginning starts taking place. A new Adam is raised with the quickening of the Spirit. That Adam is given the wisdom and knowledge to give the name of everything on the planet, because he's getting root knowledge from the Creator. One that is raised with the knowledge and wisdom and spirit of the Creator that created the sun is teaching this Adam. And that Adam is raised from a people that was made into nothing, so that God can prove that out of nothing I'm going to make something. So out of the dust of the earth in America, God raises up a man. In the beginning, our beginning, brothers and sisters, you and I are in our Genesis right now. But this beast has been planning against us. Look at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Message to the Black Man. He tells us about a book that was printed in 1946 called Brown Americans. And in that book, there's a story of law against education for the so-called Negroes. And he quotes a devil by the name of Henry Berry as saying, while speaking in the Virginia House of Delegates in the year of 1832, he's describing the situation as existed at that time in many parts of the South. Now check this out. We ain't going to be long. I'm going to have to drop this and get off of it. But Henry Berry, Virginia House of Delegates. No black people allowed. White people business. Boys, stay over there. Men's business. Made man business. Mankind business. There's a difference between mankind and man. We've been looking at mankind all our life. And this is why when we say the black man is God, a black woman be like, yeah, right. Not the nigga that's my house. Did I say something wrong? That's not how we talk about it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But what you've been looking at is the kind of a man, because he hasn't had a true knowledge of himself. But once he get a knowledge of himself, believing and start acting on it, you looking at a man that's being made in the image and likeness of God. All you got to do is support him. Say, go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Oh, look who's home. It's you. Yeah. Yeah, Hercules, Hercules. You like, stop. No, keep on. No, stop. No, keep on. Is that right? This black man needs support. But the black woman needs support too. Is that right, sister? Brother, we gotta support this sister. We gotta lift her up. How could we not lift up the black woman when our mothers lifted us up? Come on, man, that black woman needs support. She's been suffering for a long time without our support, without our protection. It's for those of you that, you know, are sitting there and, man, please. Black women don't need no support. They wicked, they this, they that. Look, you just ain't learned yet, man. That's right. That's right. You know, you got the seed, you got your little heart broken, this, that, and the other. Now you thinking all women ain't this and they ain't that and this, that. Yeah. Kick rocks. Tell that to somebody that don't even have that story already. That's right. You ain't graduating until you done felt some pain. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold goes through fiery furnace. I'm telling you, punks ain't gonna make it, man. In all facets of life. If you can't take the pressure of life, then you don't need to live. Because life came through pain. Life came through blood. You can't take it? You that weak? I don't think so. I think you just don't have the proper knowledge and understanding. You was built for this. You come from the tribe of Shabazz, the greater taker, and that which cannot be destroyed. And now Shabazz is being married to Muhammad, one worthy of praise, one praised much. You just got to take your rightful place, black man. You got to take your rightful place, black woman. Step up and take your rightful place. All praises are due to Allah. We give too many weak excuses. But I'm telling you, brother, this ain't nothing to put you down. You may have never really met a man before, but that's what the hell you looking at now. Because that's what Muhammad makes. Muhammad makes men. He don't make nothing cheap, nothing loose and nothing weak. Muhammad makes men. And the men of Muhammad are FOI, fruit of Islam. The military training that belongs to the men in Islam in North America. We ain't no punks in no shape, form, or fashion. And if you really want to be a man, and you really want to be a father, and you really want to be right by your wife and your children, come on in with Muhammad and let us make men up in here, man. We at war, brothers and sisters. So this cracker in the Virginia House of Delegates in 1832, you know, somebody gonna go look it up. Name is Henry Berry. And the discussion was dealing with education for Negroes. Look at what he said. We have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light may enter the slave's mind. Just think of that. Light meaning knowledge. Closed every avenue. If we could extinguish, now this is a devil, man. If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light. Now look, they done cut off every avenue. Now they're not even trying to find a way to stop you from even seeing the light. Our work would be complete. They would then be on a level with the beasts of the field, and we should be safe. See, he knows something coming. Yeah, Lord, he know that. Then he says, I am not certain that we would not do it if we could find out the process, and that on the plea of necessity. Now here's a cracker who's a devil and a disbeliever of the scripture. Because it's already written 5,000 years before we was born that we was going to go through this. God was going to allow it, and that he was going to use it to make himself known, that he's going to come. But these people said, we have as far as possible closed every avenue by which light may enter into the slave's mind. Now, do you think, somebody in the audience is saying, well, that was 1832. White people ain't like that no more. They got charter schools. They've changed curriculums. Brown versus the Board of Education. We've integrated. Well, let me just go back to the book. What did John say? He said, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now here's a person talking about closing every avenue in which light can enter their mind, right? Then he says, and the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. How everybody looking for Jesus and don't see a man like Farrakhan walking in the footsteps of Jesus? How everybody looking for Jesus and know from the scripture that Elijah must come first, but Elijah was already here, but you don't see him as the Elijah of the book? How we talk Muhammad, but there's a man in the midst of us named Elijah Muhammad, fulfilling Muhammad, but we don't see it that way. Because the light shined in the darkness, but the darkness is comprehending it not. He came unto his own, but his own received him not. What's stopping us from it? There's a devil in the way, man. There's no abracadabra with this. There's an enemy of God that has been having us under him for all this time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says the above words, desires, and works against you are still in the hearts of their evil, bloodthirsty children against you. He said unity under the guidance and protection of Allah will bring an end to this horrible situation. What do you see as a future in them for you and your children? Nothing but hell. Now, hell ain't under the ground. We was born in hell. We've been living in hell. We've been inmates of the fire for over 460 years now, brothers and sisters. But fire is meant for purification. There's a part of you that then came through this that's really the pure essence of God, but it's buried under falsehood. That's true. Someone got to tap into it. See, and that's what Jesus comes to do. He comes to make us to the point where we don't no longer look for a prophet. We don't no longer look for a messenger. He comes to introduce you to God in person. That you may be where God is by giving an example of God working through a man. So yes, the black man is an endangered species, but God got a plan for the black man. They trying to make us extinct. They can't. The black man cannot be destroyed. He can't even destroy himself. We tried that already. That's why the moon is where it's at right now. One of our own tried to blow everybody up. Brothers and sisters, there is a civil war going on in the black community, and white people are not saying anything about it. Civil war is when people of the same ethnicity are fighting against one another and killing one another. You got blood, you got Crip, you got those of different projects, housing facilities, fighting against other housing facilities. You got in Harlem people from different blocks fighting against people of other blocks, but they all look alike. Brothers and sisters, that's civil war. How did the white man handle his civil war? He knows how to handle this, but yet at the same time, they killing us off like target practice. Minister Farrakhan warned us about this. He told us when Barack Obama was voted into office back in 2008, he said at that time, don't be too joyous out in the public about him coming into office. Because there's millions of white people that voted against him and that are upset because a black man is in office. And they can't get to him, so they'll go after you. He told us this. Now you see them picking us off. And they just doing it willfully. And think that they're getting away with it. But they're not going to get away with it. They're not going to get away with it. God is present. And his voice is being raised through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, there is a conspiracy against us to make us extinct. But God has a plan and a way out for all of us, and it's through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. I'm saying, fly to Allah and join hands with Minister Farrakhan and the nation, and come, let us build a kingdom for ourselves. I thank you, family, for giving me your time and your patience and listening to these few words as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Y'all all right? Praise be to Allah. I thank Allah, you know, and by the grace of Allah, we'll go further into this because there's a much more that we have to show and explain, and we'll get some footage to be able to put up on the screen because our people got to know. So all we got to do, brothers and sisters, is make sure we're back next Sunday and we fill the house up. We got to get our youth up in here because they got to know what kind of plan is against them. They're stirred up right now, and I know they're stirred up. It doesn't take long to just figure it out because we was one of those back in the day before we came into the mosque. I know that kind of spirit of confusion and frustration and hatred because of the injustice, but not having enough knowledge to be able to explain it. But you bring them into the mosque and let us talk to them. And I guarantee you by the time they leave, he's saying everything that I was thinking about. I just didn't know how to say it the way he said it, but now I know. We gotta raise an army among our youth. And I know the white man don't like it, nor does the agent that's sitting among us now like it. But you ain't gonna be able to stop this. You're not going to be able to stop this. All praise is due to Allah. How many of you are here for your first time? Never been to the mosque before? Can you raise your hand, please? Will you stand up so everyone can see you? Let's give them a round of applause. Don't be shy. It's all right. If you're here for your first time, you can stand. All right. All praise is due to Allah. You're the reason why we open the doors. Yes, it's for the believer. Yes, it's for the supporter. But for those who never heard this before, never had this experience, when you come up the corridor, you ain't expecting this to be behind the threshold. But you walk in here, we set this up because you are royalty. This place didn't always look like this. But we are supposed to be in the worst part of the community, setting up places like this for our people to come to and see. There's an oasis in the desert of the black community. We need one in every section of Brooklyn. Is that right? We need it because it has to be all around throughout New York City. But we're glad that you accepted the invitation. How many of you believe what you heard to be the truth and good for our people? Can I see by a show of hands? Praise be to Allah. That's why we got to get more of our people up in here. This ain't no overnight sensation, but our people need to know the truth. And how many of you are willing to accept the truth and become a part of the Nation of Islam? Can I see by a show of hands those of you that's ready to make that step? Will you come forward for a minute? Come to the front row. I just want to shake your hand on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That just means God is the greatest. Getting greater and greater every day. This is the kind of stuff that makes us glad, but makes the devil mad, because he's missing souls that he thought he had. It's another nail in the coffin. Is that right? We thank Allah over and over again, brothers and sisters, because you and I, you create the atmosphere that allows a brother and a sister to say, man, you know what? I like this, man. I love what I'm feeling in here. And the truth that I'm hearing is opening me up to say, I want to learn more about this. And I want to tell my man when I see him, yo, man, you need to come on down to the mosque. And I'm telling my sister when I see where I was at today. You know, we have classes that are set up for our brothers and sisters when they stand up like this. And it's an orientation class to orientate us into the teachings of Islam and the principles that's given to us by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the guidance of Minister Farrakhan. No two souls are alike. As the book of Proverbs says, steel sharpens steel. We believe men sharpen men and women sharpen women. So there's separate classes for the men and separate classes for the women. But in those classes, as we learn according to our nature, so that when we come back on Sunday in the mosque, we complement each other's nature. And these classes are held at our headquartered mosque in Harlem, Mosque number 7. That mosque is officiated by the New York representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, student minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad. But the women's class, Brother Hafiz ain't going to be up in there, because it's a women's class. And that's every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Saturday. Our sister may be like, what? Saturday? I got to do my laundry. I got to get my shopping done. 9:30? Except you submit as a little child, you can't enter into the kingdom of heaven. God got to try you to see if you really desirous of this. But when you get there, you're going to see so many sisters that look like yourself from all 5 boroughs of New York City and Westchester County and parts of New Jersey. You're going to be like, what? This is what the black woman doing on Saturday morning? Having a love fest in the name of God with that good old time religion? Yes, it's a sisterhood. Sisters, and the hood is the covering of that sister in her weakness until she gets strong, so that she can stand up and bring another sister on in. But it's all in the name of Allah. And when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. When you teach a man, you teach an individual. So the black man got to protect that beautiful black woman. So your class, brother, is Monday night. Next day, 7:30, same location. Men's business. That's where we get together as men under the teachings, and you get orientated in your orientation class about this teaching, and you're able to ask questions and be yourself and be comfortable, but know that we're being taught and trained to be better human beings, better men, better fathers, but better messengers for God in our families, in our communities, and collectively as a unit, block by block, precinct by precinct, we're going around to stem the tide of violence. Every Monday night, the FOI go out into the worst part of the community to try to stem the tide of violence. While you're in your class getting your training to become a part of this august body, we're out there putting ourselves and our lives on the line. And to us, it's like putting on our clothes. It's like blinking our eyes, because we're going right into the hood where we grew up at. We're going where we know this black man. We know who we looking at. So with the love in our heart for what we see in our lives as freedom, justice, and equality, we want for our brother what we want for ourselves. So we want you to be a part of that, black man. So when we talk later on downstairs, hopefully you'll fit it in your schedule to be with us on Monday night, and sisters, you be with us on Saturday mornings, all right? All praises due to Allah. Our next meeting here will be Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We'll start our study group dealing with the time and what must be done. You can come and study with us and be a part of the circle. All you have to do is bring yourself to the study group in a willing spirit. We'll provide the material for you, and we'll go through the study material together, and then come back on Friday night from 8 p.m. to 9:30. We deal with self-improvement, the basis for community development that deals with self-analysis, self-examination, and self-correction. Come on and be with us. But if your schedule doesn't permit you to be out on those days and nights, then all roads lead back here on Sunday. Same time. Doors open at 10, the mosque meeting starts at 11. Bring a friend with you, bring a loved one, bring your family, but don't bring no white people. We got to clean up our own backyard first, brothers and sisters. I'm just saying though, you can go home and tell them about it, but you can't bring them here, all right? Because we got dirty laundry. We don't, you don't want to bring nobody in your house and you got dirty laundry around, is that right? We cleaning up in here. One day they'll be able to come. I don't know where, but they'll be able to come. Minister Farrakhan allows them to come out when he comes out. That's a start, right? And he said they could study among themselves. We don't hate white people. We hate injustice and evil and wickedness that they have portrayed upon us. And in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to show you all the way down to what they're doing in our communities. It's a lot of wickedness, brothers and sisters. And the children are no different from their fathers. No different. It's just more modern day in time. So keep coming on out and being with us. But with that being said, I'm going to relieve myself from the rostrum, and I want to bring on our assistant minister, Brother Anthony 22, and we'll deal with charity, public collection. I want you to help our brother in the public collection and help him, he ain't got to strive long. We're talking about going in our pockets to support that which is good for us. The ministry of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the work of us in Muhammad Mosque 7C, and it's good for yourself. This ain't faith-based in the sense that we got some government backing us. You make up our government. All right? So let's bring our brother on with a well-deserved round of applause as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brother, yes. We got a meeting after that, all right? Thank you.
Let's give it up for our student minister, Henry Muhammad, for a wonderful teaching.